Ever since the in-state rivalry between Penn State and Pitt came to a temporary end in 2001, it has been a struggle to get the two schools back on the field for any stretch of time. With the third in a four-game series upcoming this fall, Pitt is hoping to find a way to continue playing the Nittany Lions on future schedules, but the offer is now apparently in Penn State's hands awaiting a response. Pitt Athletic Director Heather Lyke told reporters Wednesday she has proposed a four-year series beginning in 2026 to her Penn State counterpart, Sandy Barbour, but Penn State has not responded to the offer. "We're going to wait a tad more patiently, but not much," Lyke said, according to Trib Live. "We can't. We have people who want to play us and good opportunities to play what would be a very attractive game." The four-game series currently ongoing between the Panthers and Nittany Lions comes to a close after their meeting in the 2019 season in Happy Valley. According to FBschedules.com, Penn State will not have another opening for a non-conference game until 2021. That is also the first season Pitt will have scheduling availability for non-conference matchups. Both schools already have power conference opponents lined up through 2025 as well, perhaps eliminating the desire to add another power conference opponent to the schedule. Both Penn State and Pitt have scheduling requirements for non-conference play from the Big Ten and ACC, respectively, to include at least one game against another power conference opponent. It seems like a natural solution for Penn State and Pitt to agree to a long-term scheduling commitment to satisfy their respective conferences' scheduling requirements, but the old issue has always come down to the financial incentive of a game. With Penn State playing in a larger stadium, it would be losing out on potential revenue that could be gained by an extra home game when possible. And playing road games at Pittsburgh only helps another program in the state by filling the seats more than any other home game on Pitt's schedules in just about any season. Notre Dame and West Virginia would be other candidates to help Pitt fill Heinz Field. It took so long just to get the two schools together for a two-year series, which was later expanded to a four-year arrangement. Don't count on this in-state rivalry being renewed for quite some time after the 2019 season. Follow at KevinOnkFB. While one football series between an ACC and Big Ten team may be hard to come by, North Carolina and Minnesota have put together a future home-and-home scheduling agreement to look forward to. The Tar Heels and Gophers will meet for the first time on the football field in 2023 and follow up with a second game in 2024, the schools announced on Wednesday. North Carolina will host Minnesota on September 16, 2023. The two schools will then open the 2024 season at Minnesota, either on August 31, 2024 or for a Thursday opener on August 29, 2024. The ACC and Big Ten each require their members to play one game against another power conference opponent each season. North Carolina already satisfied that requirement in 2024 with a season opener against South Carolina scheduled to be played in Charlotte, North Carolina, but the 2024 game fulfills the power conference scheduling requirement for the Tar Heels. The home-and-home series will also satisfy Minnesota's obligation to the Big Ten scheduling policy for both seasons. Minnesota is getting an exemption for 2018 and 2019 due to previous scheduling arrangements being in place prior to the Big Ten's stance on strength of schedule in non-conference play. Follow at KevinOnkFB. Quarterback Blake Barnett is now on the graduate transfer market. According to Bruce Feldman of Sports Illustrated, via Twitter, Barnett will find a new program to wrap up his college football career as a graduate transfer. South Florida is reportedly set to get an official visit from the former Sun Devils and Alabama quarterback. Source: former. The former five-star recruit has 2 seasons of eligibility left. Bruce Feldman, at Bruce FeldmanFB. April 25, 2018. Barnett started his football career at Alabama, where he sat out the 2015 season as a freshman. During his redshirt freshman in 2016, Barnett appeared in just 3 games as Jalen Hurts rose to become Alabama's starting quarterback that would lead the Tide for the next 2 seasons, until halftime of last season's national championship game. Barnett transferred to Arizona State, leaving behind a seemingly tumultuous relationship with Nick Saban, and played in just 2 games for the Sun Devils last fall, while Manny Wilkins established himself as the quarterback for former head coach Todd Graham. A former 4-star recruit out of high school, Barnett has played in just 5 games and completed 14 of 24 pass attempts for 259 yards and 2 touchdowns with an interception. Barnett's latest transfer news comes a day after former UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen took a swipe at Barnett, who was ranked ahead of Rosen in various recruiting rankings out of high school. Blake Barnett was the Elite 11 MVP, Rosen said, per SEC Country. He was the dude that was going to go to Bama, win a couple championships, call it quits and go to the league as the first overall pick. You don't really hear about him too much. As a graduate transfer, Barnett will be eligible to play immediately this fall. Follow at Kevin Onk FB. With 8 quarterbacks on the roster, Cody Wilstead opted to leave the Cougars in mid-March. A little over a month later, Wilstead has found a new home, albeit a little further down on the college football ladder. According to the Deseret News, Wilstead has signed to play at Coffeyville Community College in Kansas. As Coffeyville is a junior college, the quarterback will be eligible to play immediately in 2018. It's expected that Wilstead will spend at least one season at the JUCO level before looking at making a move back up to the FBS. Wilstead, the 3-star 2015 signee, took a redshirt as a true freshman last season after serving an LDS mission the previous 2 years. After Wilstead's departure, the 7 remaining Cougar signal callers are, in alphabetical order, Stacey Connor, Joe Critchlow, Hayden Griffiths, Bo Hogue, Tanner Mangum, Baylor Romney and Zach Wilson. Mangum, the last year's starter, is recovering from an Achilles tendon injury he suffered in November of last year but remains on track to return for the start of summer camp in August. This is something you don't see all too often. Donovan Franklin, pictured, no. 26, tweeted out late Tuesday night that, after careful consideration I am happy to announce that I have decided to continue my academic and athletic career at the University of Kansas. Franklin had spent the past 2 years at the United States Military Academy at West Point, playing his college football for the Army Black Knights. It's unclear what led this Whatback to leave the service academy and head to the Big 12 school. After careful consideration I am happy to announce that I have decided to continue my academic and athletic career at the University of Kansas. I want to thank everyone for their continuous support. pic.twitter.com/dfjml2sst8 Donovan 2 combining and closing keycap 6 combining and closing keycap @_the Real Donovan. April 25, 2018 Franklin was a 2-star prospect coming out of high school in Maryland and Army's class of 2015. After playing in 2 games in 2016, he carried the ball 1 time for 7 yards this past season. The 5'9", 185-pound Franklin was listed as a defensive back coming out of high school, and could assume such a role yet again with the Jayhawks. That likely won't happen this season, however, as it's expected he will have to sit out the 2018 season to satisfy NCAA transfer rules.